Saints Row is lewd, crude, funny, and can be amazing amounts of fun. Not one of the games in the series has ever taken itself too seriously, taking place in an open world environment where absolute insanity rules over realism. If you're looking for what Grand Theft Auto started off as, you're playing the right games. Saints Row 3 continues the story of the purple-clad gang, but doesn't make enough advances to be different from its predecessors.
Hey, don't be a dick.
But you call yourself gangbangers? You're a bunch of pussies.
Let's get right into the story, because we really care about what happens in Saints Row games, right? Anyway, the Saints have hit the big time after taking down the corporation in the last title. A large syndicate wants a piece of their profits and attempts a hostile takeover. The Saints want revenge and end up raising hell through the city and killing everything that stands in their way. It never really gets deep, but the interactions between the various characters keep it interesting.
Early in the morning, rising to the street. Yeah, light me up that cigarette and I strap shoes on my feet.
There are various encounters with the syndicate members that make the game appealing. Each of them has a theme associated with their gang, from luchadors to outright clones of Tron movies. They each have high-tier members with their own special abilities to take into account. Not only that, but due to the nature of the combat situations, your character will get into some pretty ridiculous situations. The very moment you see a man fly through an airplane windshield unscathed, your attachment to a realistic world would dissipate. The only real problem with Saints Row the Third is that it's pretty much Saints Row 2. The game hasn't changed much at all. You still run out in the open and fire randomly off into crowds of enemies, and there are new melee animations just for kicks. However, opponents aren't really all that intelligent and don't put up much of a challenge, so players will end up soaking up damage or finding a vantage point that they can't overcome. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, to clarify, it's pretty damn fun to come home and let off some steam in Saints Row 3. It caters to the sensibilities of the players instead of the enemies. I can say it is one of the few games that make you feel like a powerhouse, as the enemies are weaklings trying to overcome your character's abilities. On the other hand, it can quickly make a lot of the activities less interesting due to how tough you actually are. There is another issue that just has to be brought up as well. The story segments that are scripted are tons of fun. It's the portions in which players have to do boring activities in the disguise of missions that hurt the game. I can't tell you how many times I was sent off into a helicopter with a rocket launcher. A lot of these activities aren't even that fun and are untouched rehashes from the previous games. I wish Volition would have stuck with the scripted structured sequences, even if the game was shorter as a whole because of it.
Excuse me? Can you sign this?
The fuck is this?
The characters themselves look pretty damn good. They have a nice cartoony look to them that matches the tone of the game. It's the city that could have used a bit of a once-over, as it is full of muddy textures and plenty of buildings rendering into view. The game is also full of a lot of buggy issues that just happen at random. It doesn't exactly detract from the experience as the game is still pretty silly, but it's extremely bad for a AAA title.
I'm gonna be honest about the Saints Row games. It's the little things in between the storyline that makes them fun. The small side missions like Mr. Ginky's game show and hopping into a tank to cause havoc through the streets is where it's at. It's all about mayhem, upgrades, city management, and being the best dressed mother shut your mouth in Stillwater. While the story itself takes a back seat to this, the very essence of playing this game is how much you care about the activities.
Excuse me, my inner pimp tried to escape. Saints Row the Third isn't going to change the free roaming gaming scene. It has some cooler vehicles and features, but this is Saints Row 2.5 in reality. Now that's not a bad thing if you were into the series before. Those who have an open sense of humor will love this game. Everyone else will wonder why it's so appealing. Half-Ass Gaming gives Saints Row the Third a C+. The series is still lots of fun, but it hasn't changed as much as we thought.